In today's video, we're going to be looking at Trump Media and Technology Group. Trump has posted that you should go out and buy DJT, so stay tuned for details of that. And we're also going to be looking at MMTLP, the latest legal updates, and also the fight of 154 veterans and $12 million invested. So before we get started, let's have a look at what's happening in the market. So first of all, we can see here from CNBC, stocks have been ticking higher right now today at time of editing as the trade tensions are deepening. So the people have been buying the dip. And we can see here from investing.com, Trump has also stated with regard to the EU that they must buy $350 billion of US energy to get tariff relief. So Trump is also looking at trying to re-energize the coal industry and believes that that is the way forward. And in response to the EU, who initially offered 0% tariffs, they have stated they are now approving retaliatory tariffs between 10% and 25% on US goods. So obviously the price of iPhones in the EU are likely to go up significantly. From investing.com again, we can see the US has stated now they will announce tariffs on pharmaceutical imports. So again, higher prices also for medicines. And what I have posted in terms of an instant reaction from one of the businesses, key business, a US business, ticker symbol AMZN. Amazon have stated here they have just cancelled inventory orders from China due to the tariffs, and the reason for this is because higher prices are not in the interest of Amazon customers. So we are seeing businesses respond immediately. This is one of the responses from Apple, and what they did just before the tariff news came in, they brought in 5 planes full of iPhones, and those are all tariff free. So quick decisions there from businesses. So reaction here from Peter Tuchman, who again is one of the most photographed people on Wall Street. He stated here, crazy day. He's referring to the previous day of trading. $1.5 trillion in market value wiped out after a very strong morning. And I think the impact of the China 104% tariff did lead to this. So he's asking, this is market vandalism, is it self-inflicted? Just wow. So Peter is certainly not a happy person. So I have also posted a quick summary for everybody who is not aware of the impact of tariffs, what they are, why they're important, and why they're affecting the markets so far internationally and in the US. So first of all, they are a tax on imported goods and services. US businesses would pay them to the US government as soon as they receive these goods from overseas. So what's going to be the reaction of the US businesses? First of all, they will have no choice but to increase prices to US consumers. So what are the economic impacts and consequences of these? So first of all, US businesses and industries could in theory benefit, because then consumers in America may well find it better to buy local goods and local services. So this could, in theory, as Trump is stating, create more jobs in the United States. And in according to the theory as well, with the increase in tariffs, the government, i.e. the US government, will have much more tax revenue. So that will help them to reduce the trade deficit, which is what they want to do. It will also help them to increase spending, hopefully more spending for the US health sector and the US obviously population and people. So there will also be inflationary pressure. Prices will go up. This is then going to reduce overall consumer spending. It's going to impact economic growth, put more pressure on the Fed to either reduce or increase interest rates. So we are looking at a huge amount of uncertainty here. Competition and innovation will certainly decline because there will be less choice. So who are the overall winners? Conclusion is nobody. So there is going to be actually one winner potentially right now, and that is Congressperson and politician Marjorie Taylor Greene. And what she did, she's obviously told people who are panicking over the tariffs that you are losers and failures. And what she's done is posted over a dozen trades and hundreds of thousands of numerous stocks, and she bought when the market was deeply red. Before we get started, I'd like to take 1 minute of your time to share details of the Trading Secrets Discord. This includes daily stock alerts shared in the pre-market, the weekly watches shared prior to trading on the Monday, the $1 Million Challenge, and much more. So we also have had some tremendous calls in the weekly watch list, as well as a daily stock alerts, and these include LEAS up over 152% on the week, DOMH up over 210% on the week, IGTI up over 77% on the week, and many more. We have a new channel called Top Rank Stocks DD, and this includes PDF reports which you can download and use for research and due diligence. Obviously you can join us in live trading chat as well. We've just had a $2,000 Discord update which includes breaking news for stocks, including bio stocks, earnings, analyst ratings, Reddit news, why the stock is moving, and much more. And as well as that, you can join us in the famous $1 Million Challenge, where we look at compound return investing and 201 trades. And just a reminder of the power of compounding. If you have 1 cent, you double that for 30 days, you would have over $5 million, but we are using a strategy of just a 3.5% return. Let's have a look at Trump Media and Technology Group, also known as ticker symbol DJT, so news shared live in the Discord. And this was a post from Donald Trump, and he stated, "This is a great time to buy DJT." So if we have a look at his actual post, in addition to what that was stated there, he's also stated here, "Be cool, everything is working out well. The USA will be bigger and better than ever before." So the response in the overall markets, there is a bounce. I think overall the markets are still down significantly, but I think we do need much more good news. So let's go back to DJT, and we can see a headline here: Trump Media TV streaming apps are now available in Canada and Mexico. So the digital presence of DJT is now increasing. They're looking at launching Truth Plus TV streaming apps and connecting these to TVs in Canada and Mexico. So they're also available on major platforms including Roku, Apple, Android, Amazon Fire Sticks as well. So that's the progress they are making. So we can see here news from bar chart is obviously with regard to the listings that are currently on the NASDAQ, and they did make an announcement 31st of March 2025 that they will be listing on the NYSE. So the question is, do you buy or sell DJT? So in terms of what else is happening, we can see in terms of this news, we can confirm obviously it was announced on March the 31st. There was also that letter sent out with Devin Nunes, and he tagged in MMTLP. So the Trump Media CEO and Chairman Devin Nunes, he states it's a great fit to go on the NYSE. So clearly he's not happy with the NASDAQ. President Donald Trump, is he to sell his stake? That's the question mark. He states here, in terms of the company, they can sell more than 142 million shares, including 114.7 million shares owned by Trump. So he owns a significant amount of these shares. They're also controlled by his son and kept in a trust. So let's have a look at basically the financial condition, and we can see the company only generated $3.62 million of revenue in 2024. The costs were $61 million, so they are far from being profit making. They had non-cash losses of $107.4 million in stock-based compensation and $225.9 million due to adjustments. So overall the company is in the early stages, but on a positive note, they do have cash reserves of $776.8 million. So it is a high risk, high reward company, and we can see in the long-term chart here, the stock is down close to 50% year to date for 2025. So a huge sell-off there, and 70% off the 52-week high, which was around about $56.55. And finally, let's have a look at news, the reaction today to the post shared live in the Discord. Currently at time of editing, up over 7% at $17.83. So keep an eye out on DJT. Let's have a look at the latest updates for MMTLP. So starting with the legal update, first of all, we can see there is an update in the Intercoastal Waterways versus TradeStation and FINRA case, and there has been a voluntary withdrawal in terms of the appeal. So let's have a look at the details of this. So we can see in the United States Court of Appeals for the 11th Circuit, dated April the 4th, Intercoastal Waterways versus TradeStations, obviously also FINRA. Any pending motions are now rendered moot in the light of the attached order. So let's have a look at the attached order, and we can see here in terms of the order, it states here Intercoastal Waterways versus TradeStation and FINRA. The motion to voluntarily dismiss the appeal by the appellant Intercoastal Waterways LLC is granted, and the appeal was duly entered and dismissed. So this is no longer going to happen. So the question is, what happened. They lost the arbitration, what's going on now, and what could happen next. So first of all, as far as this case is concerned, this one will be done, but they could return with a new case, and obviously looking at the mistakes that were made here and rejig this and come in potentially again. Maybe it could also be a class action case in itself. And let's now move on to have a look at a new post here from Nicholas, and also a quoted post from Ready DD. So what Nicholas this stated here is just filed an SEC application challenging FINRA's 15-month delay in processing the Entrex carbon market corporate action. So when regulators fail to act, shareholders suffer. So it looks like a huge delay by FINRA, similar to the S1 delay for Nextbridge Hydrocarbons. And he states here the case raises critical questions about accountability and constitutional boundaries. So again, FINRA in the deep there again. What Rare DD has stated again, in similar situations, it's been 2 years since FINRA violated their own rule 6490, which we all know about, with regard to the MMTLP corporate action created by FINRA, revised by FINRA, and ultimately the U3 halted by FINRA due to issues with regard to, let's say, allegedly settlement and clearance. So in terms of the company below, they've been waiting 15 months. Why? And are there any reasons? Are there any updates? And it looks like that is now going to court to get an update on that. So we will see how that progresses. And finally, shout out here to Busy Brands, who's posted with regard to MMTLP, the SEC, and veterans who invested in MMTLP. He states, as a result of perceived regulatory misconduct by FINRA and the SEC, many investors who have turned their representation right now to Washington DC, the new government, to try and compel these regulators to do their job. And he states here, politicians always love to express their support, especially for military veterans. So he's now sharing what's called self-reported data. And he states here approximately 154 other veterans and active duty members of the military, many of them disabled, have had approximately $12 million of their hard-earned money held hostage by the SEC and FINRA. I would also say the brokers. And these two regulators are charged with maintaining market integrity and protecting investors. And finally, I would add on to that this should also be tagged in with Doge, who should take some responsibility to looking at this, because remember, it was in that FIRE email where they looked at fraud. They used the word fraud, and obviously I think as far as Doge is concerned, they are investigating fraud. Finally, thank you very much for watching. Please stay tuned.